Happy Wednesday. Yes. Welcome to the fourth episode of Lennor Pulse, where we talk about HR, career, and success. So, kamusta si Lynn? Welcome back.
Sorry, ayan. Ang tagal
Ayan.
kong nawala. Ang tagal nawala. Isang episode na lang.
Namiss
Medyo
kita.
ito nga, napatulala kasi ako sa hairstyle mo. Bagong-bago yan, sis. Parang isang
Ano ba?
episode lang yung na-miss ko pag look ka na agad. Okay, parang mukhang ano yan. Payaman ba yung, ano mo, yung
Oh,
theme mo ngayon? Nagpa-haircut ka, tapos ganyan.
yes.
Yes, so,
Kailangan medyo mukha tayong alta because of our topic. Naku, baka tayo
yes, oo.
magpatalo. And
Bagay
also
naman
sa
yun.
guest natin. Naku, baka tayo
Yes,
magpatalo sa guest
nakakahiya naman,
natin.
diba? Kailangan syempre
So
medyo alpha din
true.
na tayo. Okay. So hi everyone. I missed you guys, no. Thank you for tuning in again to our episode 4 of Lennor Pulse, no. So what a great start into the month of May. So sabi nga ni Paula, 'di ba? Bumabagay yung new look niya ngayon sa ating episode. So we have mentioned kanina, 'di ba, Team Payaman, Alta. So I'm pretty sure, 'di ba, you have an idea naman of what we are going to talk
Mm.
about today. And well, we've made it, 'di ba? And if you're watching this on Facebook pala, by the way, guys, or on LinkedIn Live, be sure na mag-like, comment, or share and support you to spread the love. Wow, feeling vlogger, 'di ba? Like, comment, and subscribe. All right.
Yes.
Anyway, so Paula, how are you? How are you, Paula? It's been a
I'm
while.
great. Ayan, with my new look and a fresh start of May. So, and this topic is really, really a topic that I'm excited about because
Yes, me too.
it it is really timely
We
for
need it.
me.
I think everyone needs it, no?
Di ba? Mm-mm.
Yeah. All right. So again, I'm Franzeline Estiva. Of course, if you've been watching Lenore Pulse, sorry. Paula and I have been hosting, no, yung
Yeah.
ating host except for last episode, no, which yung ating napaka-poging si Andre, yung
Shout
uh
out,
yes,
Andre.
yes. Hi
Yes.
Andre, hope you're watching now. Anyway, so I'm Celine again, and I'm one of Lennor Métiers recruitment consultant, and will be your host for today's episode. So, Paula,
And
since
so
kakabalik
you
na
know,
natin sa me and the
yes.
people that we have in store for today's episode.
Yes, so you know me guys, I'm Paula, alam niyo na yan. And so based on the topic name natin, we will be talking more about finances and budgeting as a rookie. Na parang right now ba, it's very timely and do sa mga nag-start pa lang mag-ipon and to manage their finances, what are the tips and tricks? And of course with that, syempre hindi naman tayo magpapahuli, meron din tayong invited guest that is
Mhm.
more well known for her wisdom and finances. Celine, who is she? Excited na
Yes.
ako.
Oo. From what I've heard, Paula, no, sis, I think mas kilala mo siya. Although I will do the honor of introducing our guest today. But I think you guys are friends.
Oh,
No, what
Jungkook,
I've heard from
BTS?
our yeah. So, without further ado, no, I'll gladly do the honors, and I want to introduce to everyone our special guest for today's episode. Our guest today, no, is a born hustler. Wow. 'Di ba? I hope everyone is a hustler, 'di ba? Ikaw ba? Hustler ka ba, Paula?
Yes, sa
Mhm.
isip ko lang.
Yes, isip mo lang. Right. And itong ating guest for today is also a true social butterfly. Okay, she's also a strong financial advocate. She is currently a senior account associate for Collective 54, the first mastermind community for boutique professional services firms. So prior to this, no, she was also a customer success manager of sales for life, a lead generation company that creates Fortune 500 companies. If you're the Fortune 500, mapapawaw ka talaga dyan, di ba? Okay, sales team through their signature social selling and spear courses. And as of late, she's also a host and author for her very own podcast, The Crazy Rich Podcast. Wow, kala ko The Crazy Rich Asians lang. Alright, The Crazy Rich Podcast. So later on, we will be sharing yung mga details sa podcast niya after our episode para malaman ng mga tao, 'di ba? More tips and tricks, 'di ba? And then which itong Crazy Rich podcast niya, which is all about him giving the whole unfiltered truth on how, the real rich Filipinos built their wealth and how you can do it too. So, talaga medyo may pagka Crazy Rich Asian talaga yung theme ng podcast niya, 'di ba? And I know
Yes.
it's going to be helpful to us and everyone who's listening. So everyone, no, without further ado, I would like to give a warm welcome to Miss Jeanie Montebon. Give
Yeah.
her a round of
Hello
applause.
everyone. Thank you.
Welcome,
You've been
Jeanie.
waiting. Thank you. You did a phenomenal job with the intro. I am so happy to be here.
So
And we are
pretty
happy to have
naman.
you here with us today. Janie.
It's
Welcome,
my
welcome,
pleasure.
Janie. Gusto ko yung necklace mo, Janie. Very
Pang almanac.
social.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. It's
I
giving me
love it.
secret vibes.
Yes. So we've mentioned earlier with the introduction that you currently have a podcast. Since I'm your friend, I already stalked that and I've listened to a few episodes of that podcast and it's really helpful for me. Can you give us more background about it? Why did you start it? Ano yung reason? And then how it's going right now?
Oh, great question. So, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Jeanie Montebon. So, I started the Crazy Rich podcast, which is inspired by, you guessed it, the Crazy Rich Asian book and the movie, because I was struggling to make sense of my finances for such a long time. And I tried so many systems, so many hacks and tips and strategies, and the only thing that made sense for me is what my mom taught me, what experience, hard won truths have given me, the wisdom that I've earned throughout the years that I've been working. And I just needed to find a way to get it out. I'm an external
Mm,
processor, so I usually talk to myself. I write it down for it to make sense in my head.
yeah.
And then this podcast is kind of like a diary to myself, dedicated to my past self and my future self, who is going to be super incredibly and wildly successful. And hopefully, I can share some of that wisdom to anyone who cares to listen.
For sure.
Ay, yes. Nakaka-relate ako doon, yung meron kang monologue sa sarili mo. Na parang, oh, gagastos ka din naman. May mga gano'n. Parang
Yeah.
minsan, di ba, yourself is your own villain, di ba?
Have a
It happens a
conversation
lot of
with
times, more
yourself
times than
in your
anything.
mind.
It's like, you're an emotional spender. I'm guilty
Yes.
of that. It's like a pendulum. You're super happy, you want to celebrate, you purchase something, or you're so sad or mad about something. So you purchase something to cheer yourself up and to kind of distract you
Yes,
from what's
correct.
really bothering you, right? So instead of dealing with your demons, you're opening your wallet.
Parang lahat ng emotion, no, it translates to a price tag.
Mm-hmm.
How
Exactly.
many, by the way, how many episodes na si Casey Rich podcast?
About seven. I've deleted a couple of them because I didn't feel like they matched the theme.
Oh,
And
okay.
I know. It
Mm-hmm.
was hard because every time, some people may think that recording is easy, but I'm a one-woman show. I
Yeah.
do everything from writing to the production to everything. And I listen to my viewers a lot. So some
Mm-mm.
topics may have deviated from the original essence of it, which is to talk about finances, real estate, all
Yeah.
that fun stuff. And we kind of got into like relationship advice for a couple of episodes. But again, it's whatever my listeners wanted. But
Correct.
I am doing a big revamp. So this coming month, we're going back to the beginning. What is the core? What is the reason? Why did I start this podcast to begin with? And it's really just to talk to myself, and anyone who
Yeah.
finds it, useful or practical
Who can
advice,
Yeah.
relate?
then you're welcome.
What triggers you into getting started with the podcast? Kasi I've known you for before na magkaroon ka ng
Yeah.
podcast. And parang nagulat ako na you started. Hindi naman ako sa nagulat na super surprised that you started because you have the talent for it, you have the resources, you have the wisdom, you have the voice for a great podcast. Pero what triggers you na parang, I will wake up and then create the podcast na nga.
If I answer that, I don't. It's gonna sound so sad. It was honestly
Mm.
boredom and
Oh,
loneliness.
right.
Yes, when you don't have a lot of things to do, or you do have something to do, but then you kind of want to do more, and at the same time you
Yeah.
feel kind of lonesome. And like I said, I just wanted to talk to myself and make it make
Mm.
sense. When I speak it out into the universe, it becomes solid, like
Mm-hmm.
it's my
Yeah.
reality. So I wanted to speak my truth to existence, and even the things that I'm struggling with, I'm like trying to figure out how can I make myself better? How can I
Mm-hmm.
develop myself into the version of myself that I would be thankful and grateful for like 10 years from now. I'm always trying to challenge myself, like,
Yeah.
what will I look like 10 years from now? Am I someone that I could honestly say, wow, you tried your best and now you're here? And so, very in the same thread as with my finances,
Mm.
I no, you just need to talk to yourself sometimes. Write it down, talk to yourself, talk to other people, get their wisdom, and combine it with what you've experienced because we all have our unique experiences, right? And
Correct.
so at the end of the day, all you really wanted to do is kind of find that essence of why we're here, why we're doing this. And then I just told myself, how can I make this make sense in a way that I'm also having fun? And I was like,
Okay.
oh, podcast.
Podcast.
And
Yeah.
then the podcast was born.
Mhm.
Also, the podcast is, yeah,
Yeah.
goes me.
Sure, go ahead. Sige. Pero kasi kanina as mentioned, di ba? Yung Crazy Rich podcast ni Jade, it's more of like a conversation with herself, di ba?
Mm.
Yung inner demons mo and you reflect on your spending habits, on your finances, on your savings, on where you want to be in the future, no, financially speaking. But it's also mentioned na you parang talk about or you want to give insights, no, or wisdom to the people. You want to share your wisdom to the people in terms
Mm.
of yung mga real crazy rich Filipinos na how they built their own wealth as well.
Yes, correct.
So I think no that's one of the things that we would like to talk about more, so that yung syempre sa atin din, but to our viewers, no, na to show them that we can do it too. Kasi that's one of the goals, diba, of your podcast.
Yes.
So,
Mm.
That's definitely
yes. So, what can you say more about it? What do you think is the first step
absolutely.
siguro that people should take, diba, as they start to manage their wages, their finances, they want
For sure.
to start
Let me
saving.
rephrase this by saying that I am a huge advocate of financial literacy. And I
Mm-hmm.
have over a decade of experience in customer service, customer success, and financial services to back it up, aside from the wisdom of just having to hustle and
Mm-hmm.
grind. I'm not a stranger to the struggle. So there were several moments in my life pointing me in this direction. And when I finally paid attention and leaned into my natural gifts, I found my calling. And my calling is to help people like you and I achieve our financial milestones and create generational wealth for our families. Like I'm so invested in this, you wouldn't even believe. I moved to a different city to study real
Oh.
estate management just so I could expand my investment knowledge and portfolio. Because I grew up in a single parent household. I'm a breadwinner. So, I know how hard it is. So, if anyone's listening out there to this recording right now and you're wondering, may pag-asa pa ba? Bakit parang ang hirap-hirap kumita ng pera at mag-budget ng pera? Well, best app is here. I got you, so keep listening. So, I
Mm.
got 3 easy steps. Let's say easy because mindset. If it's easy, it's easy. If you think it's hard, it's going to be hard. So 3 easy steps for you to take the first step, okay, in your financial journey. The first thing is to create a budget.
Mhm.
Second, live within your means. And third, educate yourself about your finances. Let me expound. The first one is creating a budget. So whether you're living at your parents' house or you're moving to a new place, you need one. You can use apps, Excel sheets, or good old fashioned pen and paper. Pick your poison. As long as you can see it, review it regularly, and most importantly, stick with it. Personally, I learned the 50-30-20 rule from my mom. And it's all because of
Mm.
her that I haven't drowned in debt or heartbreak. Lifesaver talaga mga mommy's best.
Yeah.
Okay? Anyway, she taught me that 50% of your income is for your needs, such as rent,
Mm.
internet, groceries, alam niyo yan. Then 30% for wants, like vacations, Netflix, or Starbucks. Because honestly, who
Yeah.
needs an ice shaken black tea with ruby grapefruit and honey venti? Less ice, right?
Correct.
Matamaan na matamaan. And finally, 20% for emergency funds, insurance, savings, credit card payments, investments, the works. So that's the first one.
Uh-huh.
Second is live within your means. I know, parang live within your means. Paano ba to? Avoid unnecessary expenses and try your best to live within the limits of your income. Unless unlimited income mo, like Bill Gates, then go ahead. I know it's tempting. Especially when there's a Shopee sale every month, 11/11, 12/12. Alam mo yun? Talagang sakto eh. And you
Mm.
see your friends on vacation like 4 times a year. Just remember that everyone operates on their own timeline. You may not be able to
Mhm.
afford the BTS concert ticket today, but who's to say what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So mindset natin is, prioritize your needs, stick to your budget, and live within
Mm.
your means. Finally, educate yourself about your finances. You can read books, you can talk to a licensed financial advisor, listen to podcasts like this one or mine, or take courses to improve your financial literacy. Now, this is something I wish was taught at all levels, like grade school to college. And like, how do you do your taxes? How do you start your own business? Basic
Correct.
accounting, budgeting,
Mhm.
right? 101. These are not exclusive to the alta sociedad, the maharlikas of the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
These are basic life
Yeah.
skills that will help you become more independent and self-sufficient. Hindi tayo umaasa sa dole out ng gobyerno, right? So I hope I didn't rant too much, but yeah.
Mhm. But when you mentioned that kasi 'di ba yung I hope everyone took note no kasi I took a mental note of the 50/30/20.
Yes.
I think it's going to be really helpful no if you want to start like really saving up and better your finances. But you mentioned kasi 'di ba the 30% goes to the wants. That will be
Yes.
your yung mga
Shopee.
yeah, can we consider yeah, Shopee, milk tea, whatever, 'di ba? But can we consider that kasi 'di ba sabi mo nga in connection to yung second rule mo which is living within your means. So parang avoid yung mga unnecessary spendings, 'di ba? But
Hmm.
siguro one tip that I got no from what you just mentioned is yung 30% na one siguro doon na din natin ipasok yung unnecessary spending habit.
Yes, you
Like kasi 'di
can.
ba, the want could be unnecessary, 'di ba? Kasi you want milk tea, you want coffee, 'di ba? You want yung sinasabi nga lang natin na sometimes when you're so stressed about, everything that's going on in your life and nothing is going seems, 'di ba? Nothing seems to go right. You want to parang take a break and do some self-care, 'di ba? And I think
Yes.
yung self-care kasi I think sometimes yung iba may notion na it's unnecessary spending eh. When they see you go to the
Mhm.
mall, when you're, having katulad ni Paula, di ba, new look, you have a haircut, you take care of yourself. But I think, although, yeah, we can consider it unnecessary, especially if you are on a tight budget. But we can like parang look at it na it's part of the 30% na lang,
Yeah.
siguro. Parang to avoid, di ba, yung more parang Shopee moments, Lazada moments. Tama ba? I think one of
Yes.
the insight that I got from what we just
Mhm.
talked about. You said three rules, no? But it's really helpful. No, meron akong bago na kuwang tip. So thank you for that, Jamie. 50/30/20. All right, I'll stick.
50, 30, 20. Sige, susulat ko na siya.
Mhm.
Before before kasi I use like an app called Notion. Para nandun na yung mga
Hmm.
finances ko, kung ano talaga yung kailangan kong inilagay sa savings, ganyan. Pero hindi ko siya dini-divide as 50, 30, 20 or
Mhm.
something. Parang kung ano lang yung nakikita kong budget na puwedeng pumasok dun sa savings account, kung ano yung sa emergency fund. Pero nung tumagal-tagal na, hindi ko na siya nasusunod. Kasi parang, ang missing ko dun sa file na yun is yung emergency fund.
Mhm.
Yeah, so wala ako nun. So parang nung nagkaroon ng emergency or parang biglaang bills, kinukuha ko siya sa bangko. So medyo na-stray off na ako dun sa parang,
Dati ah.
billing Excel ko, ayan. So very helpful yung shinare mo ngayon, Jeanie.
Oh, you're
And
welcome.
to less budol myself, mm. And then since
Sometimes
na-share din
Google
ni
is the way
ano
to go. You never know. Di ba?
Mhm.
You have the budget for
correct,
it.
mm.
But yun, since Paula also shared, no, na although nagpa-follow siya nung ganun before, and then parang nagkaroon na emergency fund na parang dun niya nakita na dun siya
Yeah,
nagkulang dun sa fund na yun. So, nagalaw
it's
niya yung
relevant.
fund na hindi naman tara dun. So, with that, no, JD, what do you think are some of the common mistakes, katulad niya, no, kay Paula, that
Hmm,
people make when managing their finances and how they can avoid them, like
Mm.
Paula. At least si Paula, at least na-realize niya na ganun yung fund.
oo.
So, in the future,
Mali
we can
pala
During
ako.
yes.
Oo.
exactly. It's just the complete opposite of everything I mentioned. So, not having a budget, it's so easy to
Yeah,
overspend and lose track of your finances when you don't have something to keep you accountable. So, create a budget. Second is living beyond your means. You know, Dave Ramsey said it best. He said, "We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress
Nice.
people
Yeah.
we don't like."
I don't
It's so
like.
true, especially the much younger version of me, prone to emotional spending. So, yeah. And lastly, not educating yourself about your finances. So you could be vulnerable to scams and manipulation.
Yeah.
Like, how many of you have seen a Tulpa episode na magda-down payment ka ng ganitong amount, tapos triple, quadruple yung balik sa'yo? And then, you know, it's there's an implication there that
Yeah, yeah.
money is evil. And I don't think that's true at all. Money is a tool of exchange. This is why it's important to educate ourselves about money. Because if we know better, we can do better.
Mm. When you first started ba, Jeannie, like fresh after college, fresh after school, what
Hmm.
is the common mistake that you did na sa tingin mo other viewers then made it? And also, parang ano yung sa tingin mo, sasabihin ng Jeannie ngayon sa Jeannie before na, oh, dapat ginawa mo to, that kasi hindi ka bumiling kwek-kwek dun kay Mang Tony. may mga, may mga ganun ka bang moments like, syempre pagkadating natin na adulthood, hindi pa naman tayo well-versed or well learned in terms of the finances. Mali ko ba sa
Mm.
tax, hindi naman siya tinuro sa akin nung college, di ba? Hindi ko alam yung taxes, hindi ko alam na may kaltas pala SSS, PhilHealth, and whatsoever. So I have really no idea what adulthood is. Parang bigla na lang akong pinasok, biglang, "Uy, ano nangyayari dito?" 'Di ba? So it's really hard. So right now, my big question is, yung sa mga papasok, every year may pumapasok na tao sa workforce.
Mhm.
So what are your advice to them and ano yung mga mistakes mo before na sa tingin mo common mistake for those who are starting it?
Mm. There's a lot. But I'll just stick with one for
Yeah.
now. Okay. So when I first officially started working, because I've been working since I was a kid, you know, with our family business, but officially I started working at 18.
Mhm.
And the first mistake was I thought that having that ATM means that I could literally buy anything that I want. And when I see something that I wanted and I couldn't purchase it, it gave me an inferiority complex. And when I'm able to purchase something, even if I don't need it, I just want it, it gave me this sense of instant gratification na
Mm.
parang, oh, I can afford, ganon.
Yeah.
Pero pag malapit na yung sahod, like 5 days before yung sahod, peche de peligro, ano, kanin lamig at toyo na lang. Ganon. So that's the most common one. Thinking you have unlimited funds and not really
Yeah.
creating that budget for yourself. Na parang, yes, this is your first job. Yes, you deserve to enjoy yourself. But at the same time, there are other things that you could put your money to good use. Para hindi kayong
Mm.
parang, I was thrown into the deep end. I don't know what I'm doing here. And then another thing
Mm.
I could probably recommend to people is find an accountability partner. Like this could be a friend, a lover, a
Mm.
family member that you trust to hold you accountable for your financial decisions. This doesn't mean na sila may hawak ng ATM, ha? And I will
Uh-huh.
never judge anyone for their choices or their purchases. But if you ask for a second opinion, pag hawak mo na siya at nagdududa ka na, best, when in doubt, log out. Just leave it
Correct.
alone,
Ah.
delay mo muna, and after a couple months, if you're still thinking about it, you think na kailangan mo talaga siya, then if you have the money, go for it.
Yeah, gano'n 'di ba pag-iisipan mo muna yung purse mo, hindi yung basta-basta ka na lang magche-check out.
Yes.
Paula, pag-isipan mo muna, okay? 'Di ba?
Add to cart pero hindi check out. Think mo
Yeah.
Add to
lang.
cart muna, correct, mm. And then any advice from other people when you were starting na nag-stick sa'yo and hanggang ngayon dinadala mo pa siya? Like, it
Mm.
can be your mom, your friend, when you were starting and struggling with your financial management. Ano yung advice or is there any in that matter?
Yes,
Mm,
you have to have a goal. Like in anything, hindi lang sa finances, like even in relationship, you have to have a goal. You have to set a standard for yourself. So
mm.
I promised myself that someday I would have a place of my own, a safe haven with a home library kasi, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I worked hard. I made tons of sacrifices. You know, mga friends ko nagta-travel. I worked. Hindi ko nga alam paano mag-file ng vacation leave when I was working for how many years. Kasi I didn't take it. Wala akong
Mm.
pakialam sa schedule. I worked the graveyard shift. I worked yung mga peligrong oras na tiyan na ako ng ilang beses. Ganon, like, you just have to go with it because that's how life is. Sometimes I make mistakes, na-distract ako, napapabili ako ng mga bagay na hindi naman dapat, but I still kept working. And I never
Yeah.
forgot where it came from. Kasi your financial goal is like your North Star. It will always guide you home.
Oh, gusto ko
Yeah.
yun. Yeah. How about you, Celine? Any advice na natanggap mo?
In terms of saving to better my
When you were
finances.
when you were starting kasi right now we can say na mas nag-mature tayo in terms of financial management.
Mhm.
But kasi the younger Jeanie, Celine and Paula medyo wala pa talaga silang alam eh, 'di
Positive.
ba?
Well,
Oo.
sa akin, no, personally, I feel na, kasi one of the struggles that I had, no, growing up, siguro I think yung, uh, before kasi, I was very spoiled.
Mm.
Medyo mahirap talaga sa akin, yung mag-save or alam mo yun, yung maging accountable, 'di ba, for
Yeah.
my expenses. Kasi parang at the time, parang to be honest, no, parang wala ako talagang na-receive na advice in terms of how I should,
Ah.
better my finances.
Mhm.
It's parang yung when I first started working, yung income ko parang sa akin lang eh, like gusto ko yung bilhin ko, ganyan. But then when I became siguro parang a grown up, no, in terms of alam mo yun, yung mag-isa na ako, meron akong sariling place, meron akong
Mhm.
sariling place. Um, sorry Um, parang dun ko nakita na, okay, mayroon palang yung ako lang. Kasi before meron pang allowances
Mhm.
eh, even when I was
Oo.
working. So nung parang na-cut yun, kasi I was given a credit card by my mom, na parang pag kinukulang ako, dun ko siya kinukuha.
Ah,
Dun siya
okay.
kinukuha na parang, ubos
Yeah.
na yung sweldo ko, bibili ako ganyan. Tapos pag, oh shit, ay, wala na akong pambili ng food, wala akong pambili ng groceries. So I had that credit card and then swipe, swipe, swipe. And then, siguro
Emergency.
Diba?
nakita ng mom ko na, okay,
Mhm.
parang hindi ka na, you're not getting any younger. Siguro dun din nila na-realize na na-spoil too much or,
Oo.
everything is being spoon-fed to you. So, cannot say credit card, ganyan. So, that time, parang, oh shit, dun ko na-start isipin na hindi pala pwede yung ganong way of living.
Oo.
Na
Oo.
kailangan
Mhm.
talaga, uunahin mo talaga yung kailangan mong bayaran. So,
Mm.
Yeah.
yun yung sa akin, yun, I think for myself, that's what I learned, di ba?
Hard
And
way
then,
pa.
siguro sinabi din ng mom ko, siguro yun yung advice niya in a way na, since hindi ka naman masyadong kikinig or siguro at fault din na nabigay masyado yung gusto, masyadong, ano ba to, parang na-support.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay lang naman, our parents will always support us. But siguro sobra-sobra na hindi na ako naging disiplinado.
Ah, okay.
In terms of my finances.
They
So,
want
dun,
you to learn talaga.
so nakat
Mhm.
siya. And then, yun din, so, yun
Self-awareness
yung
ka na.
natutunan ko.
Oo.
Yes. So, yung dun sa 50-30-20 na na-mention ni Janie before, no? Totoo talaga yung 50, dun siya mapupunta talaga dapat. So, sa akin, hindi
For
ko siya
needs.
isip at that time na it's a 50-30-20 tip. Automatically parang nung nakita ko na gano'n, hindi pa na pwedeng mapalayas ako sa, sa condo. Hindi pwedeng wala akong kakainin, 'di ba? Instead of
True.
buying, pagkakuha ko ng income, bibilhin ko na yung nakita ko last month na hindi ko nabili.
Oo.
Dun talaga siya mapupunta. So talaga yung 50% talagang kailangan i-set aside mo talaga yung mga kailangan mong isettle before you indulge into, yung mga self-care, yung mga shopping. So yun yung first na natutunan ko. Although sometimes, when you're really stressed, you struggle pa rin with that. So it's good na meron kang 30% dapat na pagkukunan ng mga wants mo na
Mhm.
spending.
Mm.
Yeah, that's for me.
Oh, character
Ate,
development. I love
yeah.
that.
Diba?
Thank you
Had
rin
to
sa
learn the
mommy mo,
hard way.
Celine. 'Di ba? You
Oo
learned
nga
the
eh.
hard way.
So at that time,
And,
parang medyo tampo-tampo ka, but then you realize
oo,
really for your good.
they're doing it for
Everything
you.
really happens, for a reason.
Mm.
And kahit na meron tayong mga tower moments, parang feeling mo, hindi ko na kaya, I hit rock bottom. At the end of the day, it will, sabi nga, di ba, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So, yung character development na
Yes,
nangyayari, and
correct.
then your reflection, and then realization that, makes you want to be a better person kasi you don't want to experience that na anymore.
Mm.
That's it for me,
Yeah.
financially speaking.
That's a good story kasi parang when you're taking advice from another person, feeling mo
That's it.
parang Oo, feeling mo parang ano siya, ego, tama si ego mo. Parang sino ka ba't yung magbibigay ng advice? But sometimes if you don't know a certain part of life, it's really okay to learn it from other people who experience it. 'Di ba? Parang dun mo maririnig na, oh, may value to, it can help me in the long run. Kasi
Mm.
parang ganun din yung nangyari sa'kin before. When I was starting being adult talaga, I was the breadwinner kasi and I still am the breadwinner. So it's really hard for me to, oh, babayaran ko yung tuition fee, I need to pay this, I need to pay this. So maraming expenses. So parang pagtungtong ko ng corporate, parang, oh my God, zero na yung natitirang, wala na akong pambili ng para sa sarili ko. So nagkaroon ako ng grudge. When I was starting, nagkaroon ako ng grudge kasi I'm working tapos wala ako nakukuha. So, parang medyo nalungkot ako na medyo nagrebelde pa nga ako na, "Ayoko na magtrabaho, ganyan, ganyan. Bahala kayo sa buhay niyo." May gano'n akong moment. Pero na-realize ko, nagbigay sa'kin ng advice is, know what part to give and know what part to stay in yourself. Kasi yun nga, you're working for other people, that's okay naman, and that is one of the few norms here in the Philippines, I guess, na 'di ba kailangan pinakain kita. There's a toxic don't get me wrong, that is one of the toxic trait of Filipino. Pinakain kita ganyan. Parang at the end of the day, you need to support me as well on how I supported you. So, I think that is one of the things that I want to break din sana. But yeah, going back to my story, nagkaroon talaga ng ganong moment. So, yeah, nagkaroon talaga ng ganong moment. And tapos parang may nag-advise sa akin na, yun nga, set something for yourself and set something for other people. And also another advice that I take into account is, lagi kang magsisave ng 1K per cut-off mo. Like for any matters, any restrictions or any, kahit ano man mangyari, dapat may 1K kang isisave. It depends on you na lang if you're gonna add something on that 1K or hindi. Pero yung 1K na yun, isipin mo, dalawang cut-off ka per month. So, at the end of the year, mayroon kang 24K. Bahala ka na ng gagawin sa 24K na yun. Pero ilagay mo siya sa savings mo talaga. Yun yung wag mong gagalawin. So, isa yun sa mga naging advice sa akin na up until now na gagawa ko pa rin siya. And pati yung save for yourself din. Kasi like before talaga, pag nagbibigay ka ng nagbibigay, tapos wala ka natatanggap, it's really hard to work. Doon mo marirealize na, oh, nagkaka-burnout na ako, ganyan. That's why now, I'm traveling. Bumibili ako sa Shopee, bumibili ako sa Lazada. But as Jeanie, 'di ba? As Jeanie and Celine said, hindi naman siya beyond my means. Pasok pa rin siya dun sa ko, sa salary
30%.
ko. Yes. And I hope
30 is
ayon,
for us.
correct, for myself. And I hope then yung mga papasok sa workforce this year or next year, they manage their finances well. Kasi right now, ang taas na ng capitalism. So, pataas na ng pataas ang presyo ng lahat ng bilihin. So, yun yung isa sa mga hope ko for the younger generation is to manage their finances well. And of course, we're here naman to guide them. This Lennor episode is dedicated to help them. Pasok?
Ayun. So, yung sinabi mo, Paula, yung saving 1K, I think, no, Jamie can agree also na dun pumapasok yung 20%. Tama, no, Jamie?
Oo.
Yung 20%.
Yes.
Investment
So,
savings.
depends na lang kung 20% 1K na ba yun sa'yo. Kasi sometimes, iba-iba na
Mm.
income natin, diba? Range
Mm-mm.
of income. So, okay siya yung 1K, pero I think it's better kung talaga mas stick yung 50-30, no? Kasi yung 20%,
Yeah.
going to, that's a lot, diba?
Yeah.
Yun yung pang emergency mo or pang savings fund mo. So, yeah.
Parang after hearing yung mga mistakes natin, 'di ba? Based on research kasi, Filipinos talaga are known to have poor financial decision making skills.
Mhm.
Parang in 2022, nag-place tayo sa bottom 30 out of 144 countries. So, just to address it na Filipinos right now are on that scale in terms of financial literacy and and such. So it's really helpful, and it's really I'm really grateful that there are financial people who are willing to educate, such as Jeannie nga, and others that can help us with the financial freedom.
And yung you addressed it, no, na yung Philippines, no, yung Filipino trait, sige, dun pumapasok yung nasa bottom 30 tayo in terms of, yung financial literacy, nababaon sa utang. I feel that, I think, no, everyone will agree naman na yung main reason, no, yung spending habit na sinasabi nga natin na bili ng bili. I think yung sinasabing, yung cash loans or easy money schemes, diba? And
Mm.
hoping, yun nga, sabi to have a better life for ourselves. So, Jenny, what can you say about that? Kasi diba, of course, ngayon, ang dami-daming lending companies. Meron pa dyan na
True.
pwede company mo, you can do salary loan, merong credit card, may mga lending companies na
Oh
naglalabas.
gosh. Yeah.
Meron din mga, of course, pag-ibig sa government pa nga, di ba? So, what can you say about it? What can you advise our audience or everyone who's watching in terms of yun
Yeah.
yan, yung cash loans, easy money?
It, it's very interesting because nobody wants to be poor. I
Correct.
mean, it's common sense that nobody wants to live in poverty, right? If you had a choice, if you could live rich and wealthy lives, have this wealthy lifestyle versus be living in poverty, of course you're going to choose, the first option. But it's also important to note that all investments come with some level of risk. Now,
Mhm.
we can't really judge a certain investment scheme, mga MLM, as fraudulent or scamish until we do our own research and understand the risk before we
Mhm.
start investing. So, what I would usually tell people is you have to know your baseline and your ceiling. Your baseline is your minimum starting point that you use for comparison, and your ceiling is, of course, your max, right? So, how much are you willing to invest and how much are you willing to lose? So, whether or not this potential investment option turns out to be true or a scam, then at least you know your minimum and maximum that you're
Yeah.
willing to invest and lose some money. This is actually why I prefer the real estate route. There's this article written by the Pinnacle List that says nearly 90 plus percent of ultra high net worth individuals got and maintained their wealth by investing in real estate. Bill Gates is actually considered the largest private owner of farmlands in the US. I think over 200,000 plus acres across dozens of states. And another trivia is one of the biggest real estate companies in the world is actually a restaurant chain. It's
Mm.
famous for their red haired clown and burgers. I wonder what that is, right? They own and lease more than 30 plus thousand restaurants in over 100 countries. They have a portfolio of around $30 billion. So you can Google this, you can fact check me, but it's crazy,
Really?
right?
Yeah, oo.
That's real estate. Because some people have asked me, real estate ba talagang sekreto para yumaman ka? For the most part, yes. And
Mm.
investing in real estate is one of the best ways to stay wealthy. It's not just about gaining wealth. You can gain wealth in your lifetime if you really
Yeah.
aim for that. But it's about maintaining it and creating that generational wealth, which I always advocate for
Mhm.
people. Na hindi lang para sa iyo, but for the next generation. You're not teaching your progeny, your children to be lazy, but you're teaching them to be smart with money na hindi sila ever mag-wonder na makakapasok kaya ako sa school, makakakain kaya ako mamaya, ganon. Real estate kasi is limited. It's a tangible asset and the value generally increases over time. But ate, paano kung hindi ko afford yun right now, right? So, one of fresh graduates, that's okay. You start with saving. Kay Paula
Mm.
sabi niya, 2,000 every month. Why not? You can start with that. Once you've established 10 years sa work mo or lumago yung business mo, if you chose the entrepreneur route, then you can invest in a house or a condo
Yeah.
or a plot of land, right? Unti-untiin mo lang best, there's no rush. And then patayuan mo ng bahay or iparent mo or ibenta mo at a higher price. This is where real estate practitioners can help you. So all I can say is just know, do your research,
Yeah.
mitigate your risk para hindi ka naluloka kung sakaling mawalan ka ng pera. That's all.
Mm. So, I think it depends on the goal pa rin, no? So sometimes kasi
Yes.
diba yung sabi mo, yung goal is to create generational wealth for your family. But sometimes yung iba naman just want to, settle all the bills, buy everything that they want and have savings. That's it, diba? So at the end of the day, it depends on the goals. Pero yung real estate investing, no? Siguro, I'm not sure if we can talk more about it today, or we can maybe listen to your podcast. Do you have like a, a topic where you talk about, how to
Very
invest in
interesting,
real estate, the
oo,
do's and
yeah.
don'ts, yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, kasi I remember I have a friend before. Actually, she's a coworker, no? She was living like paycheck to paycheck. And
Mm-mm.
on
Mm.
top of it, no, talagang she was selling everything that she could. Like mga ice candies, mga frozen meat, just so, just to get by, alam mo
To
yun.
ends meet,
And
yeah.
she resigned from work, no, kasi magka-work kami before. And now she's in the real estate business. She started, I think, as an agent. I think, yun yung kaya ako tinatanong, I'm sharing because, my question is it the same if you start as an agent? Kasi siya, parang she started as an agent ng mga real estate, yung mga, housing projects, like,
Mm.
if I
Mm-mm.
can name them, but yung mga same, yung mga itsura na house, ganyan.
Yeah, yeah.
As an agent, and then the promotion, like I think, mga sales manager, and now she's not in the corporate world, but she already bought her own house, an SUV. She already has a business, and
Nice.
that's because of real estate. So is it the same, Janie? My question for you is it the same na nag-agent siya, so nag-sell siya, 'di ba?
Mm.
Yeah.
So alam naman natin yung kita doon, like yung mga commission, yung mga agent ka na selling those houses and lots for you. As a versus yung sinasabi mo na you are investing, you are buying yung mga lot, yung mga properties, and then you have it rented out or you sell it.
Mm.
Is it the same
That's a
or
good question.
mhm,
I'll answer this in two ways. So I don't know much about her, but what I can tell you is this: after 2016, if you wanted to get into real estate, like you wanted to be a licensed real
mhm,
estate broker, you have to take a real estate management course in college.
mhm,
And trivia, the top four universities that you know, they don't offer it. So it's very democratic. So it's one of the best things that I love about one of my favorite parts about it. So it's possible that she's not a licensed real estate broker, but she is a real estate salesperson or a property consultant, as some of them call it. So may
mhm,
requirement like just a college, a number of units, and they have to take, and then they have to work under a licensed real estate broker. This is under
mhm,
RESA, RA 9646, a Real Estate Service Act. So a licensed real estate broker can have up to 20 salespersons working under this person. So yun yung mga salesperson, yun yung sabi natin, they're doing the grunt work, the leg work, lahat. But then, pipirma yung licensed real estate broker, mas malaki yung porsyento niya kesa dun sa salesperson niya. But kumikita pa rin si ate. So it's possible that's what happened with your friend.
yeah,
Na
Mm.
kaya
I
siya
guess,
nakalago
yeah,
is because of that.
yeah,
And
she's work.
remember, there's always a family looking for a home every day, or even single people. I know a lot of single people who want to live on their own and they want to have their own property. Na pag tumanda sila or they have their own pets, meron silang safe haven for their loved ones, right? So that's the first one. The second one is if if you're interested in getting into the real estate practice, you could become a licensed real estate broker. Let's say second courser ka na. Mas madali mo siya matatapos. There are so many colleges that are offering like in 1 or 2 years, may second degree ka na, take ka ng board exam para maging real estate broker ka. Once you pass, you can practice. So, ganun lang siya. But for anyone who's not interested in getting licensed but want to practice, just find a reputable real estate brokerage, a firm, and you can start as soon as possible, as long as you meet all the requirements for the college units. I think it's around 72 units. Kumikita ka talaga sa real estate, whether you're investing yourself, you're putting your money in, or you're working on behalf of a licensed real estate
Mhm.
broker. Even as a middleman, you're always needed in the process.
All right. Thank you so much, Janie. No? I think that clarifies, no, everything. So talagang real estate, no, talaga is a good investment. Whether you are buying and
Or
or
selling.
selling or
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
into that
Would
industry. Kasi I think it's when you mentioned that there are sales manager working under a broker, I think yun yung ginagawa niya. Friend ko,
Siya
sales
yung
manager,
ano,
is a consultant, agent, and then she got promoted. But I think she's not a broker, a licensed broker yet.
a
But
license
then
yet.
again, kita ko
Pero
naman yung
kumita
improvement.
kabuhayan si ate.
Yes. For real
Yes.
estate ba, would you consider it na low risk or high risk ang real estate investment?
Good question. We had a financial management class, and this is actually a hotly debated topic. Kung ano yung pinaka-liquid and ano yung pinaka-low risk na investment. And real estate is really one of the low risk, best investments that you can make in your lifetime. So if gusto mo magpamana sa anak mo or sa asawa mo or whatnot, kung ayaw mo silang bigyan ng cash, mas solid ang real estate. You buy a plot of land, most likely nag-appreciate ang value niya in a couple of years, and transfer mo lang yung title sa pangalan ng anak mo or may will ka, matatransfer yun automatically sa mga heirs mo, right? As long as walang mag-dispute, walang mag-aaway sa mga heirs mo. So please make sure your wills are clear. Okay? Guys, lesson.
Well divided, yeah.
Parang walang gulo, walang dispute. Okay? So, yun kasi, although magbabayad sila, sabihin mo na i-deduct yung tax kasi doon sa worth ng value ng property. Again, this is a whole other conversation. But pag na-transfer na yun, tumataas lang yung value. Pwede nilang patayuan ng bahay, pwede nilang ibenta part of the land.
Yeah.
It's really up to them. They can take out a loan sa bank, tas yun ang collateral. There's so many options. You can get so much money out of a plot of land or a house na ipapamana sa'yo. Versus kung sabihin natin, for example, cash. Madali kasi mawala ang cash, pwedeng manakaw, pagdating ng daga, ma-bankrupt yung bangko, ma-fraud ka sa online bank. Alam mo, ang daming pwedeng mangyari. But hindi mananakaw ang lupa sa'yo.
True.
That is most of the time.
So say for example, nakapag-invest ka ng small lot, what tip can you give to those na parang ngayon na encourage sila na okay, meron akong savings, siguro I want to invest this in a plan, ganyan. So if they are ready to invest, kahit yung small lang, hindi naman very grand. But ano yung first things na kailangan nilang malaman or gawin kung mag-invest na or meron na akong land na maliit. I do, alam mo yan.
Let's say the first one is wala pa siyang land. Okay, first time niya mag-invest. You have to look at the purpose. Why am I buying this piece of land? Ano yung long-term plan ko sa kanya?
Yeah.
Just imagine that for a second. Papatayan ko ba siya for me? Or am I trying to renovate it? Or lalagyan ko siya ng bahay para ibenta ko eventually? Or para sa akin ba siya? You have to think And location is everything. Malapit pa siya sa school, sa mga religious institutions, malapit pa siya sa hospital, right? Kasi depende rin din kung titira ka doon or ibibenta mo lang siya, ipapasalo mo lang siya. Maraming purpose kasi siya. So before you even buy a plot of land, consider the location. And then ano ba yung purpose kaya mo siya binibili? And then let's say you make peace with it. Sabihin mo, personal, gusto ko para sa amin ng family ko, para safe na kami secure. Okay. So sobrang rural ba ng lugar? Sobrang malayo ba sa kabihasnan? Kasi you can buy a plot of land for cheap. Like, marami ako nakikita mga 50,000 lang, and that square meters, my gosh. But the thing is, liblib na lugar. Kung papatayuan mo yun ng bahay, mahal pa rin yung pagpapatayo mo kasi yung mga materials, dadalhin pa doon, iakit pa doon. Paano kung na-aksidente ka? Paano kasakit ka? Saan ka pupunta?
Yeah.
So, location is everything. Naturally, mas mahal palagi ang location na marapit sa, sa urban center, sa city.
Yeah.
But naturally, there's a theory in urban sa real estate na if this is a city, right, sobrang urbanized na, like Manila, Metro Manila, BGC, Makati. Tapos, napapansin nyo, habang tumatagal yung taon, yung mga karatig nilang mga city,
nag-expand. Yeah, nag-expanded.
Diba?
Correct.
Exactly. Ano nangyari sa Cavite?
Yeah. Right now, it's really booming as well.
Exactly. Cavite, Laguna, ano pa? Bulacan. They're starting an airport there, right? They're already building it. So if you're looking at, gusto ko ng lupa pero masyado nang mahal sa Metro Manila, then tingnan niyo yung mga karatig na city nila, ng mga location. Makikita niyo doon marami ng mga development projects, mga LRT, MRT, mga airport. That's the next best place for you to buy.
Strategic. Yung lagay ng real estate.
Strategic. Kung ayaw mo talagang sobrang layo, gusto mo talagang sa bundok, by all means, do it.
Go! Kahit walang signal, go.
Yes,
go. And Yeah, it's really a good investment in terms of the real estate kasi as you said nga kanina, parang pwede siyang ipamana eh. And
Mm.
hindi siya money na mabilis mawawala. Eh, paano naman like for example, those people who is not yet lean towards the real estate? Any other advice? Kasi I have a question here eh. Submitted
Mm.
question. What is the best investment that we need to invest aside from real estate? So any other tips or any other
Those na hindi pa
form of
sila kaya,
investment?
no, na mag
Mm-mm.
sa land or that want to start.
Stocks or bonds would be the next best
Yeah.
option. But I'm going to be very real. I haven't researched much about it to actually give you a definite answer right now. But
Same.
that's based on, I just let my bank do the work for me. So,
Mm.
lalagyan lang ako and yung mga UITF, they
Yeah,
do the
yeah,
work
yeah.
for me. So, may mga ano yun, eh, low risk, medium risk, or mga high, yung mga
Oo.
aggressive investor ka ba, ganun. So, they do the work for you. Insurance is also the next best thing. I know a couple of insurances that ties health insurance plus my investment part siya, di ba? So it's called the variable insurance. So that's another option. But if I'm being very corny here, I think the next best investment, if not real estate, is honestly prioritize yourself. Invest in your health.
Correct.
Invest in your
Yes.
health. So
Yeah,
you'll
kasi at the end of the
never get to
day,
the age where you could actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. Na pinaghirapan
mm,
ko ng ilang dekada as a
Mm.
breadwinner, living paycheck to paycheck. Finally, na-achieve ko na lahat ng gusto ko sa life. Ay, may sakit pala
cannot
ako.
enjoy it
Kasi
na.
Yeah.
sarili
Oo.
ko sa work. So don't forget about yourself. Mag-invest ka sa sarili mo, best. Like you don't have to,
Yeah,
invest in super expensive na mga exercise.
Luxury items.
Invest in spending time with yourself, meditate, maybe swim when you get the chance. If you get, if you feel happy spending time with friends, kasi nakakaano rin siya ng dopamine, may mga happy hormones, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oo.
being
Correct.
with other people, like it's all part of your health overall. So
Mm.
invest in yourself.
actually, that's nice, no, Jamie. I remember my best friend, no, 10 years ago, she told me that same thing. Kasi siya, very, naman siya. Actually, she's my cousin. We grew up together. Pero ngayon, nasa America na kasi sila. So,
Mm-hmm.
siya yung very naman, very, kasi ako, di ba sabi ko, I shared ka na, I was very spoiled na, hindi ko naranasan yung, mahirapan ako financial struggle when I was young. No, and talagang binibigay lahat ng gusto niya. Siya naman, opposite siya na talagang very hardworking siya.
Mm.
I remember that 10 years ago when he came home, or when she came home, she said na, best, you have to invest in yourself. At the end of the day,
Mm.
the best investment that you can make is in yourself. Kasi kahit na madami, kasi siya siguro ang dami niya ng savings, very, ano na siya, sabihin natin very well off. Kasi
Mm.
diba, alam naman natin mabisa ka mag-save pag nasa ibang bansa ka.
Correct.
But sabi niya, siya parang dami niya naramdaman ng mga, siguro mga sakit-sakit or anything na parang sabi niya, kailangan before you start, alam mo yun, na i-pursue yung goal mo na magkaroon ng generational wealth or magkaroon ng
Yeah.
dagdag pera, maging milyonaryo. Diba? You have to invest in yourself. Kasi at the end of the day, kung di mo siya ma-enjoy or
Wala
you're
rin.
sweet under, wala din siya.
Oo.
Your family
Correct.
might, but ikaw, diba? So, wala lang. I just want to share that na it's good talaga to invest in yourself first and
Hi,
foremost.
Beth. Great minds think alike, Char.
Actually, 10 years ago, I was very young then. And wala, hindi naman ako masyado nakikinig kasi nga, di ba, I shared. I was a different person back then.
Correct. Mm.
I was like, siguro mga 22, 23, so 10, 11 years ago, when that line, I first heard that line from her. We invest in yourself. Yun yung sinabi.
Mm.
So, parang narinig ko siya sa'yo when you share that, Janie. So, thank you so much for sharing all those,
You're
tips,
welcome.
everything that you know about financial literacy.
Correct.
Sa
Mm.
amin and to our audience, for sure, ang daming natutunan.
Yes. Ako din, parang, when, sa akin naman, iba yung take ko sa invest on yourself. Tulad sa invest on yourself na mention niyo earlier. For me, yung invest on myself ko is yung napag-aralan ko. Kasi right now, my work is not connected to kung ano talaga yung pinag-aralan ko nung college. So, parang na-realize ko na if I invest something on myself na learning, ganyan, courses, tas tsaka na ako nagkakaroon ng income. sa napag-aralan ko. So that's one thing that you can translate, invest in yourself. And then, mental health, sorry. It's mental health, usually kasi ako 'pag nabu-burnout ako, lumalabas talaga ako. Yung investment na pinagbibili ko, investment ko investment ko yun sa
Your
tina-translate ko
friends are
siya as
inviting
in
you. Traveling is an investment.
yes, tina-translate ko siya as investment to myself. Kasi kapag hindi ko siya ginawa, 'pag na-burnout ako, tatamad na magtrabaho, mawawalan ng pera, 'di ba? So, 'di ba, it really depends on your perspective. How would you invest on yourself? Just take note lang na kapag dapat nag-i-invest ka sa sarili mo, let's say investment as a whole is your extra money. Money that you're willing to lose. So, lagi ko lang iniisip na ito bang pinag-i-invest ko sa sarili ko, okay lang kahit hindi pumasok sa bangko ko. Okay lang ba kung hindi ko siya maging savings? So, ayun lang siguro yung one thing na I would say investment in terms of workforce and corporate. Because right now, corporate is really competitive. So, one way or another, you need to take care of yourself as well as your finances. Diba?
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. And Jeanie and Celine, you've given us a whole story, a whole lot of learnings, especially with Jeanie, with the real estate and the other investment topics, and also the mistakes and some of the tips that you can do when you're starting pa lang. So since ito na yung question natin for those who were a guest here in Lennor Pulse. So maybe Celine can give you the $1 million question.
Yeah, ang ating pang universe. So, Janie, no, given that you are very, siguro you still have a long way to go
Hmm.
in terms of achieving your financial goals, yung mga generation, building generational wealth for you and your family. But you've already come a long way, diba? Look at you now, diba? Very, when you were starting, kasi you've shared naman kanina, no? So Janie today, Janie na kausap namin ngayon, si Janie
Yes.
na narinig ng mga listeners, no, who's given a lot of insight, a lot of tips. If you were to talk to your younger self, what will you say?
Listen to your mom more because I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
Still am, actually. But there are so many times where I insisted, because I'm also a breadwinner, so I felt Paula
Mhm.
when she said, yung parang she held the grudge, parang manatiptay ako,
Ah,
ganun. So, and yung rebellion ko is me spending money on myself. And then
yeah,
afterwards, I
same.
felt guilty, which is kind of weird if you think about it. It's my money. Why do I feel guilty spending on
Mhm.
me when I worked for it, you know? Parang ganon. But looking back, she only had my best interest at heart. And I'm lucky that I had someone like that in my life. It's my accountability partner. And she really like held me to a higher standard. Talagang tinatanong niya ako if I feel like I'm gonna buy something na parang want lang. Hindi pa nga want eh, parang sobrang wala lang dahil gusto ko lang gumastos para masabi kong
Oo.
nire-work ko yung sarili ko. Um, I should have listened more kasi I could have
Mhm.
saved much more if
Mm.
I listened much earlier. So that's my biggest takeaway.
And may follow-up question dyan, no? Yung ating $1 million question. So, what you're going to say to your younger self to listen to your mom, no? You should have listened to your mom more. But I guess, no, that was the time when you were really young, when you were naive, no? You were stubborn. Pero ngayon, na-realize mo siya. And you are who you are because of that, because of those realizations,
Mhm.
because of those learning, diba? Mga character development, reflections. And you are where you are because of that. Kung ikaw naman yung kakausapin or your younger self would talk to you, what do you think the young Janie will say
Let's say,
to
yeah.
the Janie that you are now?
Uy, ayoko umiyak ah.
Sige
Siguro
lang, go
kasi,
lang. I-edit na lang namin yung mata mo. Joke lang.
no, kasi we've had this experience. We were evicted from our own house. So my younger self would have asked the me now na, bahay ka na ba? Ganon. Yun lang.
Ah,
Like, you have a home na ba? English
have you
speaking pa rin
made
yung
it?
bata eh,
Yeah.
maarte. Do you have a home na?
Ah,
And I can happily say yes. Yes, we have a home now.
we made it, di
We
ba?
made it, mommy.
I love your answer. It really shows the dedication and right now your achievements. Na dati it's a dream and hindi mo pa nga alam kung yun ba dapat yung dream mo, di ba? And
Correct.
right now that you've achieved it, it's really nice to look back. Na
Yeah.
started from the bottom, now I'm here.
Now we're here.
Yeah. Me as well, Jamie, since you're a good friend of mine, I'm really proud of what you've become right now. You started as work besties, now we're real besties, diba? So really proud of that. And
Thank
of course,
you.
yes, congrats again on your podcast and being a great co-host and a great guest for
Yeah.
this month's Lennor Pulse.
Sobrang bitin, actually.
Oo,
To know
biten.
more, I want to know more. So, yung mga audience natin, na-hook din, no? Kasi parang,
Yes.
anyway, aside from the learning na nakuha natin, no, from what Janie shared to everyone, ang dami pang, parang it paved the way, no? Parang ako personally, what I feel right now, now that we are ending this episode, I feel na parang, ang dami ko din yung realization na kahit na I've grown so much, diba? And I've changed so much from those younger years na talagang so wala akong accountability, hindi ako disciplined. Ang dami pa rin, sabi ko nga kay Janie, diba? We still all have a long way to go. And
Yeah.
to know more, I really want to know more. Na parang, this is the start. Parang you feel empowered eh, diba? So thank you,
Yes.
Janie. Parang, I
Of
feel empowered.
course. Start of a great friendship.
Yeah. So, sa podcast, I think, no, I hope na we can have another episode talking about
Yes.
more things,
Right
financially.
out, yeah.
Yeah, but siguro kasi hindi natin mako-cover lahat, but yung podcast na lang ni Janie, I think yung mga gusto pa at
Oh.
nabitin katulad ko,
Yes.
you can subscribe or ano ba sorry, hindi kasi ako masyado mahilig sa subscribe ba yun? Or follow,
You can
Yeah.
listen to it.
listen to
And
it.
follow Ring.
On
Follow.
Spotify. Crazy
So,
slash.
sige, Paula, do the honors para ma-introduce
Yes.
din yung podcast.
Okay.
Para alam ko din
Giving.
na
Okay. Yes. Giving the floor to Janie na. And of course, we know that this podcast would be a great podcast since we're heard Janie na in this episode. So Janie, can you give us more details about Crazy Rich
Oh,
podcast?
thank you. I'm really so grateful and happy that I get to spend this time with all of you at Lennor Métiers. So thank you for the opportunity. And I would like to invite everyone listening to this podcast to come check out my podcast on Spotify. It's free, it's public, and it's called Crazy Slash Rich Podcast. And my name there is Jen Diamante. Thank you so much.
Oh! Yeah, sige. Lalagay namin yung description. Ito na naman tayo sa pa-edit sa editor.
Yes.
Ilalagay ulit namin sa description or somewhere yung link ng podcast ni Jeannie so that you can check it out and know more about financial freedom and financial literacy with our very own host, Jeanie Montebon. So again, thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much,
Jeannie, and thank you so much,
Jenny.
Thank
Celine.
So much,
you.
Paula, and to our audience. So,
Yes, I hope the audience learned
bitin
something
talaga
again.
ako. So, kailangan ko nang makita yung
Kailangan.
podcast ni Jenny. I want
Correct,
to know
sige.
more.
Mm. So
Ayun.
tune in to the next episode and tune in to Jeannie's podcast and see you to the